Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I'm recording this on Saturday, June 30th, 5:30 in the evening. Happy Canada Day to all my Canadian viewers. This will go up on July 1st, which is Canada Day. And also, what happens on July 1st is Steve Bannon reports to prison. But that doesn't stop him from being in the news. Former White House strategist Steve Bannon pushed back on the idea that former President Trump would seek retribution in his second term, even as he listed former officials who need to be investigated in the name of justice. Dude, that's what we call retribution. He named off Andrew McCabe, James Comey, Mark Esper, William Barr, of all people, Mark Milley. It's justice, it's justice, Bannon insisted. No, it's not. It's retribution. Bannon said, it's not retribution at all. First off, and then he was being interviewed, he said, those were his words. I am your retribution. And then Bannon tried to hand wave it away. It doesn't work like that, Steve. It's retribution. It's just, it's amazing, the audacity, the gaslighting, the lying that these folks will do. But again, happy Canada Day to everybody in the United States, because this giant pile of human garbage is going to be in a low security prison for the next 4 months of his life. When we hear about Steve Bannon next, it'll be like September 30th or November 1st, and his butt will be out of jail just in time for us to be casting votes. So he's upset that he's going to be incarcerated during the critical 4 months prior to the election. Just saying, you're the one who chose not to address a congressional subpoena. You're the one who fought it in courts. You're the one who appealed. And you went to the Supreme Court and they said, nah, bro, you can go to prison. The Twitter comments on this story are amazing. And that's where I got the Canada. That's where I realized it was Canada Day, because somebody said, Happy Canada Day. You know, we didn't do this, but it's a gift to the folks in the United States nonetheless. So, 2.5 minutes of snark at Steve Bannon's expense. But let's come in and take a look. He did not get his Supreme Court intervention, as predicted on this channel. And now we're going to find out how Steve's really feeling now that he's going to be going into the pokey for 4 months. Come on down. What's the energy around Steve Bannon on what will be Canada Day? 3 of Wands. He's getting ready for a new journey. I bet you he wishes he was still on that yacht off in international waters. I forget which billionaire oligarch's yacht he was on, but that's where he was hiding when they finally got up with him. So 3 of Wands. Planning for his next adventure here. Crossed with the World card. And yeah, that's bringing things to a close. Oh, good Lord. Oh, jeez. Steve Bannon's in trouble. He's going to be spending the next 4 months in prison. By the time he gets out, he cannot do anything to help Trump. Basically, the election's already been decided. Now, mind you, people haven't fully voted yet. Absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, all that stuff will be well underway. But by the time Steve Bannon's out, the die is already cast. Trump is already set. Everything's ready to go. Mind you, in September, although Judge Merchan will not be overseeing the case anymore, he has got that other case, the We Build the Wall case, where he embezzled a bunch of money and defrauded a bunch of Trump supporters. So he's getting ready to go for his prison sentence. In the past, the 2 of Wands, he's been kicking this can down the road, trying to exhaust all possibilities of him going to prison. His last gasp was to go to the Supreme Court, and he was waiting for the Supreme Court to get back to him. They finally did, and the answer is no. Congratulations, you get to go to prison. It's funny, all those other people that helped Trump aren't in prison right now, but Bannon is, and I believe Eastman is as well. And what did those 2 idiots have in common? They did not appear before a congressional subpoena. He could have come up and pleaded the fifth a bazillion times. Yep. Current situation is justice. Justice has finally caught up with him. Congratulations. Here you go. Here's your prison outfit. Please report to prison. Again, because he has that trial for Rebuild the Wall coming up, he's not considered, this is something that prevented him from being in a minimum security prison. If he hadn't done that scheme, or if he had gone to prison before that scheme was revealed, he would have served in a minimum security prison as opposed to a low security prison. And the difference is, low security prison, he's probably in a cell with a cell door on it, as opposed to an open sleeping pod, amongst other things. Overarching energy is the Five of Cups. He ran a gambit and he lost. I know it's still only in the minimum security prison. It's still only 4 years. But the most important stuff that he could be doing right now is now coming up, and he's not going to be able to do it. It's his own damn fault. That's all I'm going to say with that, even though I said it a bazillion times. The lesson to be learned is the Chariot. Funny how life goes on without you, Steve. The campaign's going to go on. History's going to march on. You got the World card, Justice, and the Chariot. Those are great. Oh, and the Devil, of course. All this stuff in service of Donald Trump, and you're wanting to be a part of MAGA and get rid of democracy in the United States. This is not the only case he's got coming up. He's got another fraud case coming up, and we haven't even hit the January 6th cases yet. This is just January 6th committee not showing up. The outcome is the Two of Swords. He's at a crossroads because, again, it's almost like he comes out of prison, and when he comes out of prison, he's going to be sentenced again. That case starts in September. Sentencing could be done by the end of September, beginning October. So literally, he could be getting out of federal prison and getting ready to go to state prison for his trouble. And he's not going to be the type of person that I think they're going to let out. He's going to be free while he appeals the case. I think he is going to be in prison while he appeals the case, because now basically he's a felon and he's got a criminal record. So they don't really need to cut him any slack. And he's been convicted before. He'd been pardoned by Trump, I believe. I don't think his sentence was clear. I think he was pardoned. So he had the federal cases dropped or pardoned from him. Now you got the state cases. I'd have to look that up. What happened with that? Hang on for a second. Let's make sure I don't blow this up. So Trump did pardon Bannon. It was one of his last acts, and it probably had something to do with the January 6th. Quote, all hell is going to break loose tomorrow, Bannon promised listeners of his podcast, The War Room, on January 5th, a day before the deadly siege. Remember, we also caught Bannon on audio tape basically telling some giant Chinese diplomats or Chinese businessmen that all they were going to do was say they won the election and let all hell break loose in the United States. Doesn't that sound like a patriot to you? Sounds like a patriot to me. Assuming it's a patriot for a sworn enemy of the United States, then yeah, that's a patriot. So, this guy. So, how's prison life going to treat Steve Bannon? Shall we indulge a little pettiness on our parts? How is Steve Bannon's 4 months in prison going to... how's that going to work for him? What's his energy during his time in prison? Is he going to be of service to other inmates and teach them how to read, how to plot coups in their boardrooms? What's Steve Bannon going to do? How's prison going to treat him? What's he thinking of prison life after 4 years? Is he digging it? He might want to dig it because I think he's going to see a little bit more of it. The devil card. I don't think he likes it. They mind you, this is a minimum security. It's like low security, low security prison. We got the devil card here. How's he like in prison? He doesn't like it. He'll put on airs about how tough he is, but if somebody might be crying for their mommy, it might be him. He'll keep to himself. He knows prison life is going to be difficult, and he can't really say anything because these people could turn around and rat him out to Jack Smith and the DOJ to get reductions in their sentences. So I think he's going to keep to himself. Knight of Pentacles underneath it. While he's in there, he is going to be looking for somebody to bail him out, or he's going to make offers again, with Trump to get pardoned or something. He can't get pardoned out of this 4-month case, but again, we got the January 6th insurrection case coming up, and he knows that's coming up. He's got to be real careful. Underneath, he's a mercenary. I don't know in a minimum security if you really need to pay for protection, but if you did, he might be doing that. In the past, we've got the Three of Swords, the heartbreak and betrayal. Trump can't bail him out. Trump cannot stop this from happening. And the Supreme Court didn't bail him out either. So I think he's feeling like he's been... You know what this is? This is almost like being thrown under the bus. What do I have to do to be of value to you people? So he's feeling betrayed once he's in prison. Current situation is the King of Cups. I don't think that's him being emotionally strong, and I don't think it's Biden either. While he's in there, he's trying to keep his emotions in check. He's still trying to be like an emotional, spiritual leader for Trump. But what can he do? He's in prison. It's not like he can broadcast out of prison, much as he might try. Overarching energy is the King of Pentacles. And nobody's, again, he might get some money that's brought in by wealthy people to make his time in his minimum security prison tolerable, but he's pissed. He is pissed that he's in there. And he has to just sort of hunker down. He can't help Trump. He cannot be the emotional, spiritual leader for Trump in the last 3-4 months leading up to the election. Lesson to be learned is the Emperor. Again, he's not... He could be a kingmaker. Look at all these kings. You got a king, and an emperor. He wants to be a kingmaker, helping the king become an emperor. All of that stuff, all these great plans that he had in store have been completely and utterly castrated because he's in prison. And the outcome is the Hierophant. Little messenger boy is going to be in some trouble. He's not going to be able to get out of it. And we got the government here. Because, again, once he's... right around the time he's being released from prison on this case, probably the judgment in sentencing in New York for the conspiracy to defraud the We Build the Wall is going to happen. And he's going to get some more prison time. Well, we'll look at that one. Will Steve Bannon get more prison time from the New York fraud case? It's like you go from there, and while the trial is going, it's a criminal trial. While the trial is going, he has to attend court, just like Trump did. The difference is, after he attends court, the nearest, most convenient prison for him to go to is Rikers Island. And that's not a minimum security prison. So life gets even worse for him. He's got 3 months, and I think that's what that 3 was. He's got 3 months of, July, August, and maybe September of, or July and August, certainly. Sometime in September, maybe it's the end of September, he's got his minimum security prison, not minimum, low. I got to get the terminology right. The low security prison, but then he goes to Rikers for the duration of his trial. I love it for him. Okay, New York trial. He gets out at the end of October, beginning of November. Will he be sentenced to more time in prison as a result of the conspiracy to defraud folks with the We Build the Wall? Ace of Wands, strong action being taken place. Here's the stick. Going right back up the river again. Yeah, it's like he gets right out and he gets sent right back up the river. the high priestess. He should have known better. Get used to this. This is going to be your life. He's going to be sentenced to more prison time. And what's going to happen after that is then you're going to get the January 6th trial. He's going to be, it's like a relay race of which prison system gets him for what length of time. I wonder how long he'll be in there for. In the past, the Six of Cups. Again, trying to be the spiritual leader for Trump, and he got booted out, and then he came clawing his way back, trying to get into Trump's inner circle just in time for January 6th. And on January 5th, saying it will be wild. He got a 6 and a 6 here. We need 3 6 for the 666 trifecta there. But he was an idiot for doing this. He dodged a bullet with the pardon. And he probably only got the pardon because he was part of the January 6th insurrection. Mind you, the pardon was for the federal charges for trying to defraud people. And Trump pardoned him. But, there's state charges too. He ripped off people in New York. Current situation with the New York trial, again, trying to keep things close to the vest, trying not to let anything out, trying to keep his secrets, again, hoping that Trump gets in there and can do something to get him out of his situation. But it's state charges. Trump can't do a darn thing. So what you got to hope for now is a governor that, can you bribe the governor of New York? Can you get a friendly governor and bribe them and get clemency that way? And I think he's considering the options that he's got. It's funny. Walls and hedges do the same thing, and this one's covered with money. This is his own greed. His own greed got the better of him. I mean, I don't know what he'd spend the money on. It's not like he spends it on, hair product or razor blades or anything along those lines. Lesson to be learned. He didn't want to work for his money. I mean, he's got his War Room podcast, but it's just greed. Just plain and simple greed. To them, it's like the whole We Build the Wall was like stealing candy from a baby. Hey, Trumpers, give us money for this wall. We're all on the same team. Now that they got the money for the wall, they want to keep it for themselves. Yeah, why build the wall? This was the easiest money I've ever made. Oh, you're supposed to work for money? Fools and suckers. But we're asking, is he going to get more prison time? I think he is. It's just, he's going to see quite a bit more prison time. And again, he can try and work on it to get clemency or a pardon from the governor. But 7 to 1. And then the fight doesn't stop there. If he gets sentenced, then you move on to the next case, which is going to be the January 6th case. That's the big one that's waiting underneath here. Judge Chutkin is going to be waiting for Mr. Bannon to show up. Oh, God. I don't like Steve Bannon. That guy's a jerk. All right. So, Bannon will be in prison during that. I see him being convicted again of the wall. More prison time. Now let's look at how will that dovetail into the January 6th thing. Well, tell me about his involvement with January 6th. What's his involvement with that? One more time. Bannon, January 6th. Bring it on home. He's a plotter and a planner. He's basically one of the folks that was making all the plans, thinking and planning ahead, leading the way, leading the charge. It's again spiritual leader. Hermits usually like the swamis living in the cave type of thing. He was kind of like one of the masterminds of this plot. Yeah, and underneath is Queen of Swords. He knew it was a coup. He knew exactly what he was doing, but he saw a huge opportunity for himself in this world by doing this. So it was a risk worth taking from his point of view. foolish if you ask me. In the past, you got the Ace of Swords. The voters spoke. The voters told you what they wanted, and now we're trying to circumvent that. Trump gave him a pardon for his role in the We Build the Wall scheme, but that's because he had a bigger role in the January 6th stuff. Again, I think he might have even come up with he might have been one of the folks. If he didn't come up with the idea, he certainly championed the idea of keeping Trump in power. And it's all because, if you think about it, Bannon was in there early on. He was the one with this horrible agenda that he had Trump systematically going through. And he wasn't done with his work yet. He wanted to do more. And the only way he could do that is keep Trump in office. Asking his involvement with January 6th, temperance. Yeah, planning, waiting, looking for timing, trying to do what he can to concoct a poison cocktail for the United States. And it was going to be successful. He knew it was going to be successful, and he was going to be able to bring his own personal brand of toxicity to the whole world. So his world would be in his image. And if you look at that guy's image, it's not a pretty looking world, is it? But the lesson we learned is justice got in the way. It didn't come out, and now he has to face the music for his actions. This is not about integrity. This is about illusions and delusions. This guy's delusional. I'm not saying that he'll get to spend his time in a mental health hospital or something along those lines, but this dude is delusional. It's funny. He doesn't strike me as the type that's going to try and throws other people under the bus. He kind of owns it, but it's because that's kind of who he is, you know? I think where he is with this is he might still be hoping that in 2028 a Republican president comes in and then pardons him for the January 6th stuff so that he can get out of jail free with that. He's got to play a long game, so he'll try and delay. Again, hopefully the Republicans come back in power in the executive branch, and then he gets pardoned. He's only spent a little bit of, about 4 years in and out of prison. This is not a good person. It really isn't. I don't get it. But you know what? They don't pay me to get it. They pay me to read the cards, I suppose. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, and everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. Glad you found us. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.